All right, we're gonna switch gears now. New tonight here in The Current, we are talking bird migration. Up in Wisconsin, right on the bluffs of the Mississippi River, the Kohler Company owns a nature preserve. And for 3 years, a team of researchers have spent fall at that preserve studying local bird migrations. And that study just wrapped up yesterday. A Quad City man was part of the team behind it all. So we have Kelly McKay, fresh from the preserve, joining us here on The Current. Kelly, thank you so much for being here with us.
Thanks for having me.
All right, we should tell people we literally just drove in last night from Wisconsin. Are you feeling awake and alert today?
3 o'clock in the morning I got home, yeah. So.
Well, why were you guys up in Wisconsin? Why study the bird migration?
Yeah, it's a good question. So we know that over the last half century across North America, we've seen 3 billion bird decline. So that's billion with a B. So most avian species populations are collapsing. A lot of them are in serious decline. And so it's in order to understand the magnitude of these declines and to try to figure out how to reverse it or prevent it, we need to know what's going on with these long-term population trends. And so during the summer season, we have long-term monitoring. It's called the Breeding Bird Survey. In the winter, we have long-term monitoring. It's called the Christmas Bird Count Program. But during the migratory seasons in the spring and fall, we don't really have any large-scale long-term monitoring program in place. And so we had this idea that maybe using migration corridors along major flyways might be a way of monitoring these avian population trends as the birds are migrating over time.
And which birds are you looking for when you're up there?
So in this pilot study, which we just concluded, this 3-year study that you mentioned, there were 9 species that we looked at, and that included, and you're going to put me on the spot now, try to remember those species, common nighthawk, chimney swift, American white pelican, red-headed woodpecker, northern flicker, blue jay, American robin, cedar waxwing, and eastern bluebird.
Oh, you nailed it.
Those are the 9 that we're monitoring. And like I said, this is a pilot study. We picked those 9 species because they're fairly easy to identify. They primarily migrate during the day. A lot of birds are night migrants, so it's hard to count them if they're migrating at night. And the good thing about it is some of those species have significantly increasing populations, some have significantly decreasing populations. And our hope after this 3-year pilot study is we intend on establishing a long-term monitoring program which will go on for years, because that's really the only way you can understand what's going on with bird populations. You can't just look at a year or 2 or 3 and really understand what's going on, because there's variation from year to year. You need long-term data. And so we're hoping that we can establish this long-term monitoring site.
So what did you guys do to monitor the birds? I'm assuming use this thing right here?
Yeah. So binoculars and a spotting scope, because we're monitoring birds that are anywhere from eye level to thousands of feet up. And there's a broad area that we're surveying. So all the way across the river to the Iowa side, across the river, the bluff line, and then about a mile inland. So that's the corridor that we monitored. So we were out on a 30-foot high platform, 10 hours a day, every single day for a 56-day period. We started the last week in August, and like you said, we just concluded yesterday.
Obviously, you don't have your data finalized yet,
no.
But right now, I mean, the day after you wrap up, what are your early takeaways from what you saw? Well,
this year actually was one of our, it was probably our poorest year in terms of bird numbers. But like I said, 1 year you can't really say, that anything certain was going on there. But for a lot of our species, we had fewer this year than we had last year or the year before. Now, for 3 of the species, this was actually our best year. So, who knows? Only time will tell.
Well, we just have a few seconds left, Kelly, but
Yep.
What do you want people who are watching this to take away or know about when it comes to the state of our local bird migration?
Yeah, so it's really important to monitor these populations over time, because so many of these species are in serious decline. And the most important flyway for birds here in North America is the Mississippi flyway. So we live right in the most important flyway for a lot of species. So we did this work up in southwest Wisconsin, but those same birds that we were looking at up there, they come right down the river. Some of them are going to spend the winter in the southern U.S. Some are going to go all the way down to Central and South America. But as they pass through the Quad Cities, there's migratory stopover locations here that are vitally important as well. Places like the Milam Bottoms, which is one of our major migratory stopover locations here in the Quad Cities. So
everything's very interconnected and all very
everything's tied
fragile.
together, yeah.
And all very fragile.
Yeah.
Kelly, thank you so much. We'll have to keep in touch as you guys get some of this data in and start to parse through all of this. Thank you for coming in today.
Thank you.
For you guys at home, you want to share this story, you can find our online version at WQAD.com. James?